I am in pursuit of a world where everyone has enough to live decently and to leave behind an earth where their children and grandchildren will also be able to live decently.
Hello and welcome to In Pursuit Of. My guest today is someone very special. He's been in the development sector for a very, very long time. Dr. Ashok Khosla, founder and chairman of Development Alternatives. Welcome to our show. It's a real pleasure to have you here.
Nice to see you.
Our audience would be curious to know how you chase this pursuit of yours.
Well, I currently chase it by talking with people like you.
Yes.
And I'm doing that all over the world. Young people who are in the business of changing the world and talking to them about how they can do so in a manner that affects the most number of people. I've set up an organization where we have some wonderful young people. It does work in very many areas, but its primary purpose is to bring back the environment and the resource base. The second thing is to make sure that no one, particularly the women, the children, gets left behind. And the third is really through the technological innovations to make sure that our resources are conserved and minimum damage is made to them. We have laboratories and scientists who develop a new building material. They might build a new kind of water treatment plant. They might work on cook stoves, which are one of our favorites because they impact the lives of women all over the country in an incredible way. And basically, our proof of the pudding lies in how many smiles we create in the countryside.
Our youthful audience and their questions are very important to ensure that we are able to take our mission of sharing journeys and experiences to everyone. And for that, I really hope that you all keep sending in questions. Today's questions will be asked by Anita to our guest.
Hello, sir. So my question is, how does Development Alternatives support youth?
Development Alternatives is all about youth. You know, the purpose of development is bringing up a world for young people. So they're not the objects, but the subjects of development. So everything we do actually is to help them build skills, to help them create enterprises or jobs for themselves, and to be able to contribute in a new kind of way to the building up of our nation. And our nation needs young people who have a conscience, who think, and who think about others as well as themselves. So young people are very important as staff members. We've got 300 of them in our organization. And young people are very important as the clients, the customers of our organization, who buy, hopefully, our ideas too.
Thank you, sir.
If you were to give me an example of something that's been done recently, which DA is proud of, saying that this has been one of our success stories, what would that be?
Our success stories are really in the area of creating meaningful, dignified, and well-paying jobs, particularly for women, but for everyone who is willing to work. And they usually depend on local resources and local skills, but often get their revenues from serving the urban market. So if you're a rural person, young person or old, and you want to start a business, we help you do that. We help you choose a business, we help you get the funding for it, and we help you make it work. And then you essentially create more and more jobs through that. One of our favorite stories is of a woman who actually came to us for a totally different reason. She wanted to buy a rickshaw so that she could take her daughter and niece to school. And we helped her get the money, and she bought an electric rickshaw. And it was sitting outside her house all day long. So she was smart enough to start thinking business and how can I make money out of it. So she became a taxi driver. And this three-wheeler e-rickshaw led within a year to proliferating into 3 or 4 more rickshaws. And she obviously was a good businesswoman. And she's now employing some dozens of men and others who are basically running a taxi service. So she owns a fleet of more than a dozen.
Wow.
And within 3 years, she's been awarded and given prizes, and she's the proud citizen of our community, and she's highly respected. So it gives you an idea. We do the same kind of a thing for making fertilizer or various kinds of natural and organic systems for agriculture. We do the same thing with recycling paper, which is a resource that actually is very important because it reduces the pressure on trees. So a lot of our work has hidden environmental benefits, which we like to promote as well.
Absolutely. So if you were to measure your impact, then how do you do that? Is it, numbers, scale, geography? How do you measure your impact?
In order to convince people who are usually economists and people with an interest in numbers, we do try to capture the amount of impact on the ground with numbers. For example, how many trees planted, how many women made entrepreneurs, how many people got jobs through that. And these run into the millions. We're talking about very large numbers because there's a secret to it. You need to make a kind of a pyramid scheme in which more and more people do your work for you. And we franchise them. We do. One of our enterprises, types of enterprise, is providing a young woman or a young man with a laptop which is connected to the net and gives total information to anybody who is interested in setting up a business. And we're doing this at a very strong rate at the moment of about a dozen a day of these new enterprises, each one creating 2, 3, 4 jobs, and it makes a lot of difference. Our problem in India, and in almost every country, is actually not economic growth, it's job growth. And we found ways, not so secret, we're telling everybody how we do it, which are obviously more effective than normal and can be a good source of action for the future in developing basically an entrepreneurial spirit in rural India.
Wow. Sounds really fantastic, actually. How long do they take to kind of really settle, like on an average?
By the time they break even or grow, it's not more than about 18 months. Some of them maybe 1 year, some of them 2 years, but it's not a long gestation period. The kind of enterprises that we're talking about have built into them fairly fast exponential growth of income, and that helps a lot. And now we're using digital innovations to connect them with sources of materials or with people who will buy their products, and that will make it much faster.
Lovely. So Dr. Khosla, what is your vision for development alternatives?
My vision for development alternatives is that it's still around after I've left it, and it's growing in its impact, not necessarily in its numbers, but in terms of what it produces as results, as impact on the ground, and to have a kind of a life and mind of its own that it can take on the big forces of government, which is not necessarily tuned in with what's needed by the people.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I will continue my chat with Dr. Khosla of Development Alternatives. Keep watching and do remember to subscribe to our channel.